Welcome to Kick Back with Chris. Kick Back with Chris, the martial arts podcast.
Hey guys, it's that time again, back for another episode. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're having a great start to your October in your martial arts school, in your training, whatever it is that you're doing. Later on today, we're going to be joined by my guest, Richard Smith, who is going to be talking to us a little bit about an event that he's just been running, a Facebook group, his school, and all the other things he gets up to. This guy's always keeping busy, lots going on. But before that, as always, I just want to run through some of the things that have been going on. Bit of a reduced list this week. I've sort of compressed it a little bit. Oh, and don't forget, we've also got our section with Matt Chapman coming up as well later on. Thanks to everybody that's been sending questions in. That really does help us out with content, and also it means that we're providing you with the stuff that you want to know, rather than me guessing and just picking stuff out randomly. So this actually starting off with something to tie in with the last episode. This Saturday, the Redcon 1 showing is at the Light in Leeds, and I'm actually going to be there for the premiere. If you're going down as well, drop me a message. It'd be really cool to hook up. Nice to meet some of the people that are listening to the show, have a chat, you can give us some feedback, maybe even get some sound bites. A couple of recordings would be really cool for the future episodes. So yeah, if you're interested in going down to see Redcon 1 at the Light in Leeds, there's a Q&A section on afterwards as well with Mark and the director and some of the other actors in the film, and I believe afterwards as well there's going to be a party as well, so it'd be interesting. I would imagine there's going to be lots of people dressed in the zombie attire and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'll post all the details in the show notes, so if you're interested in going along, you can get in touch with me as well, and we'll work something out to meet up, as I say. The next bit of information, this is actually well ahead of time, but for good reason, as I think this one is going to be incredibly popular. Bill Superfoot Wallace, it's listed as being his final UK short visit, and this one is actually, this seminar in particular has been arranged by the ITC, the International Taekwondo Council, with Mr. John McNally. If you remember, I can't remember how many episodes back it is now, John was actually on the show to talk about the ITC and the work that they do, which is fantastic work. It's a group that I am very much in support of. But on May the 6th, Bill Superfoot Wallace seminar. It's going to be it's in Sutton Coldfield. It's at the Martial Arts Academy there. So it's Sutton Coldfield Martial Arts Academy Taekwondo session. So it's listed as the ATKDA ITF. I think I've got that right. And they've actually got a Facebook group up now. I'll list. Let's have a look on here. The address is listed as Sutton Coldfield Grammar School for Girls, Jockey Road, Sutton Coldfield. Okay. The seminar time is 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. The costs are so there's different costs depending on whether you're part of the group and stuff. So e-card holders, which is something the ITC do, is 25 quid. Non-e-card holders, 30 quid. If you contact John McNally on 0777 337 6633 to book a space, I'd do that pretty quick if you're interested, because I think it's going to fill up really quick. So that's on May the 6th the next year. They do actually have a Facebook group. If you go online and search for their Facebook group, it should be listed as Superfoot Bill Wallace Seminar, May the 6th, 2019. So go check that one out, guys. Or Bill does, if anyone's done any of his workshops, I've done several of them over the years. They're always really, really good fun. Definitely worth checking out. Next information, somebody who's been around in the industry for a while now, always puts out good content, always worth checking out his Facebook posts, and they're always cuts straight to the point, no nonsense guy. Russell Jarmusy's got, it's actually been out for a while, the Brutal Bouncer DVD box set. It's won awards, it's sold now over 3,000 copies. I actually have the box set myself, and although self-defense isn't something that I particularly specialize in, it's always good to have information to hand and to be able to appreciate the different things that people are doing. It's at the minute he's got 6 DVD box set on sale for 40 quid, which is an absolute bargain, guys. And I would very much recommend picking this one up while you still can, because it is a good box set. If you go into Russell's Facebook page, the information's on there. It's also on the FBMA, Friendly Bunch of Martial Artists website, Facebook group, which Richard, who's going to be our guest later on, actually runs. One of the things that he does. So get on there and check that one out. This weekend on Sunday, it's the Leicestershire Martial Arts Gathering, which I've mentioned a few times. Actually, I'm going to be there teaching. It's at now. I'm going to try and get this right. It's at the Winstanley Community College. I think I've got that right. And if you contact David Hector, he did a recording for us a couple of weeks back on the show with all the details on there. But if you get in touch with David, he'll be able to get you some tickets sorted out. Now, I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head how much the tickets were. I know they were ridiculously cheap for a full day's worth of training, but I know that they're doing cheaper tickets in advance, and then you can buy tickets on the day for a little bit more. But yeah, I'm going to be down there. There's lots of other fantastic martial arts. It's a full day of training. I'm teaching in the middle of the day sometime. Again, I can't remember off the top of my head. I really should have had this printed out before I started recording. But anyway, I've talked about it enough in previous shows. Go back and listen to one of the previous episodes and you should be able to get the information there. This week, actually, was it last week? I can't remember off the top of my head. Vengeance 2 just started shooting. Now, Vengeance... film directed by Ross Byosk, somebody I've had the pleasure of working with a number of times over the years. Fantastic guy, fantastic director, and this guy's like a walking encyclopedia of like martial arts movie knowledge. The amount of like total geek out conversations I've had with him over the years on various productions, just discussing different movie points and stuff. But he's a really, really good guy, and keep an eye out for Vengeance 2. The little bits that I've heard, that it's sounding like it's going to be an absolutely amazing film. I've actually yet to see the first film. It's something I am looking forward to seeing. But add into the mix of we've got Redcon 1 and Outlawed, and there's so much going on at the minute in the UK martial arts movie scene. It's absolutely fantastic to see. But yeah, keep an eye out for details of Vengeance 2 on social media, and obviously get behind it and support it as and when you can. So, on to this week's talking point, something that, this is going to be potentially a bit of a controversial one, subjective one. Now, what I do want to emphasise before I go into this is I'm not in any way, shape or form style bashing with this one. And I'm not against... Well, I'll get on to what it is first before I start trying to save myself from people getting vicious emails into me. So this has been going on now for forever, I guess. Since people started documenting martial arts on video, I think it's fair to say. And I think with social media and the boom of social media, it's becoming more and more relevant as a point that we kind of need to try and stamp out. I don't mean that you all need to get the pitchforks out and go after these people, but perhaps you would hope that the people that post these videos will maybe consider not doing it going forwards. And what I mean is people that use really poorly executed techniques from other styles, shall we say, to validate the effectiveness of their art, or to argue why that other particular system isn't effective. Which it's really infuriating. As somebody who practices, I practice so Taekwondo, kickboxing, and I cross train and I do other things as well. And one of the things I see so much, and I won't mention arts because I don't want to cause any offence, or have an onslaught of emails in from grumpy instructors and students. But one of the things that gets my back up is when you see people throw really, really crappy kicks, and then show an awesome defense against the crappy kick, and then say, this is why kicks don't work. No, it's not that the kicks don't work, it's that the person that threw the kick at you threw a crappy kick that wouldn't work anyway, and it's just, it goes on all the time. Now, I think what we need to differentiate here is, I'm not against sort of like one-step or set sparring, because in context, one-step sparring or set sparring can be I say effective in that it can be used as a positive teaching tool, as long as it's not portrayed as self-defense, because self-defense it obviously is not, but as a tool to develop distancing and timing, and to work on correcting the mechanics of the technique, set sparring can be useful, but it must never be sold as self-defense, because no one's ever going to punch you like that, and you're never going to punch at somebody like that. I would hope not anyway. But back onto the main thing, with this you see it all the time. It's on social media, YouTube, and again, since people started documenting arts on video, this is something that's been around, and using a different art as poor examples of a different martial art to validate the effectiveness of your chosen art is such a pointless exercise, because I think in fairness, if you're training in martial arts or anything for self-defense, the chances of you having to defend yourself against somebody else using another martial arts system is so slim, unless you intentionally go wandering into, I don't know, let's say a karate school as a Wing Chun practitioner and go, I've come to fight you, like some old Bruce Lee film or something. Unless you're going out and planning on doing that, the chances of you having to defend against a head height kick outside is so slim. It's not impossible, but it is slim. So, as instructors or sort of online coaches or just students in general putting videos out on Facebook, don't put videos out validating the effectiveness of your art by using really bad examples of techniques from other systems, because it makes you look stupid, and it just gives people ammo to go out and say, look what these people think, blah, 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 blah. And it just breeds more negativity from that going forwards. I've seen some really, really cracking examples recently on social media, and again, I'm not going to say who or where from or anything like that, because it's not really appropriate. But just absolute madness, So stop doing it, please, because it's really annoying, and two, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, moving on. This week, our guest on the show, or one of our guests on the show, is Mr. Richard Smith, who has... I'll let him tell you more about what it is, all the different things that he does when he's on the phone in a few minutes. But this weekend past, they had an awesome training weekend. He's recently set up a Facebook group as well, amongst other things. And so really spreading a lot of cool positivity within the martial arts at the minute in the UK. So I wanted to get him on. I've known him for years, but also it's really good to see somebody spreading a positive message within martial arts at the moment. So we'll cut to a quick break, and after that we'll speak to Richard, and then I'll catch up with you after that.
You're listening to Kick Back with Chris, the martial arts podcast, brought to you by www.onlinekicking.co.uk.
Okay, so joining us now on the phone, we have Mr. Richard Smith. It's the same thing with all these martial arts people. They all seem to do loads of stuff. And Richard's one of these people who he does loads of stuff, which we're going to talk about. I say stuff, I mean that in the nicest way, of course. But we're going to talk about all these different things that he's got going on. How are you doing today, Richard?
I'm fine, thank you.
Have you recovered from the weekend?
Just about. Yeah, just about. It's now into planning the next one already. And
wow.
Oh yeah, straight away. Yeah.
So for those listening that aren't quite sure what I mean by that, he's not just been out on a massive bender. It's not. It's we're actually going to talk about this event.
There was elements of that.
Love it. Okay, so what I always like to do whenever we have a guest on is just to give people a better picture, a better idea. Is go right back to the start. You don't have to disclose dates if you don't want. But back to the start of your martial arts journey, how you started out, where you began, that sort of thing.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, a strange one, really. I might say, as we just spoke about a minute ago, my background was computer programming.
Wow.
And I used to work on some of the really, really early handhelds. We're not talking things that people would have in their general pocket because they were too expensive.
Yeah.
And just sat behind a desk out all day. Never did any sport at school, particularly. I'm not a sportsman, couldn't catch a ball to save my life back then. And I think it was just looking at a picture one day that showed me with a really curved back because of the way I was huddled over equipment all the time.
Oh, wow.
And I sort of thought, I need to do something fitness-wise. Always fancied martial arts. Obviously, probably similar influences to everybody else, Karate Kid and all the rest of it. And just saw an advert and went for it. Funny thing was, I'd already spoke to my brother, and my brother said, yeah, if you ever do it, I'll do it together. And I did my first lesson without him. then felt really guilty. So I told him, and he wasn't very happy for me for a little while, but he joined me fairly quickly. He got up to his first, and I continued.
Wow. So you were a little bit later in life then. It was
A lot later in life.
Unless you were computer programming as a 5-year-old.
I was computer programming at the age of about 11.
Oh wow! So okay, cool.
Yeah.
I used to do I used to have my I don't know if it's the same, but I used to have my Spectrum, Sinclair Spectrum, and my book with basic code. And I used to spend all day typing something in to make a spider crawl up the wall, and it would never work. Was it?
Yeah. Well, if anybody remembers back those times, there used to be a publication called Sinclair Programs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was published in that at the age of 13.
Oh, get you!
You may have even typed in one of my games.
Wow, there you go. How cool's that? Nice little synchronicity there. Okay, cool. So, what was your chosen art then? What did you start training in?
Well, it's what you see in the papers. Really, it was Taekwondo I started.
Okay.
And continue with that for many. Well, I'm still teaching.
A long time later.
Long time later.
So, yep.
We picked up the kickboxing part way through. I'm not going to that. So that's a story in itself. But I took on the kickboxing, progressed in kickboxing as well.
Okay.
Again, still do both, but sort of more in more recent times. I've been getting more and more interested in the self-defense side of it.
Okay.
So I did the Urban Krav Maga course, and so we use elements of that to improve on self-defense.
Yeah. So obviously, fast forward a few years with regards to training, you've now got your full-time centre now, which I've had the pleasure of visiting a couple of times. It's a great facility, massive place. A lot of people will be very envious of your setup. And how's that going now for you? Is it going well?
Yeah, no, it's still going well. I think last time you probably came, the mat space was at 150 square meters matted. Yeah. It's now just 5 meters short of 200.
Okay, wow.
So yeah, we're constantly changing, improving. Usually Christmas time when everybody thinks we're having 2 weeks off, but they come in and find walls have been built and glass divisions have been built and things.
Yeah, we all have that. Yeah, we're all. It's all the same. I think we're just sat at home. But we can't, can we? We just can't. We're not wired that way. I say wired because that's the best way to describe it. Every year I look forward to Christmas break. Christmas break comes around 2 days into it. I'm all twitchy. I'm not doing stuff. Yeah. So I'm just going to pop in the gym for half an hour. 5 hours later, why aren't you back yet? Well, I started painting.
Sounds so familiar.
Yeah, we all do it, don't we? All do it. Cool. Yeah. So, obviously, more recently, I mentioned this actually at the lead-in at the beginning of the show in another section. I was just talking about the real positivity at the minute around the martial arts industry and some of the influences that you've had, both in terms of your Facebook group and your online, not your online courses. I've got it in my head at the minute. Your courses, specifically the weekend ones that you've been running. Now, I thought it was the Facebook group first and then the courses, but evidently it was the other way around.
No, it's the other way around. Yeah. We 2014 was the first weekend.
Okay.
And basically, I'd heard stories of sort of weekends that used to occur. Martial artists getting together. Woolacombe Bay was the one that I kept hearing the name of, and that sort of started to fall by the wayside. And it was just okay. Well, let's have a go and let's see if we can do it. And it was so popular. I basically said, well, shall we do this again next year? I said, well, do we have to wait till next year? So that was from the spring break. We did it again in autumn. So the first 5 was part of an association, so it was quite a closed shop.
Sure.
And then the next, I say 4, have all been open. And I'd had the idea. And it's been growing since it's been an open. The next one, obviously, is the 10th anniversary or the 5th anniversary, whichever way you want to look at it.
Sure.
And it's really been growing. And what happened was everybody's friendly. There is no politics. There's no egos, which is really what makes the weekend.
Brilliant. Yeah.
The instructors The instructors are not just instructors; they're also students, because they're going to have a go at something they've not done before, maybe, or whatever. So the final sort of click that brought friendly martial artists together, or the Facebook page and everything else, was sitting down one evening of the weekend, because we tend to get a few drinks with other martial artists and chew the fat and this, that, and the other. Was just looking around and realizing that I've got a white belt who's conversing on an even plane with a seventh dan, with a grandmaster.
Wow.
At that particular time, I was looking around. I'm actually sitting talking to Superfoot Wallace, who, obviously his reputation goes before him.
Yeah.
But at that particular point in time, he was just another bloke.
Yeah.
We were two friends talking in the pub.
Yeah.
And that was sort of the catalyst that brought the Facebook page. There's a lot of Facebook pages for instructors within associations, or just instructors to talk to instructors, to ask instructors questions.
Yes.
But this one, and we do see it happening, is, yes, instructors ask instructors questions, but students ask general questions for instructors to answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes instructors ask business type questions that are answered by students because that's actually their field.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there is no. Everybody talks to everybody. They don't care what grade they are or whatever. When all said and done, and we know this from ourselves, we may be good at taekwondo, we may be good at kickboxing, we may be lousy at paperwork. So sometimes we need to get somebody else to do that.
Yeah, that's me.
I've got the same hat. It's okay.
That's me. But no, the tagline on there, it's interesting. Now, for those that don't know the group we're talking about, it's listed as the FBMA, the Friendly Bunch of Martial Artists. And the tagline at the top is no politics, no ego, just a friendly bunch of martial artists. And it's got just short of 1,000 people in there now. And I'm assuming that with the course, which we'll talk about a little bit in more detail in a minute, the course at the weekend, there were people that used this Facebook group that perhaps hadn't attended the event before, that found out about it through the Facebook group and then actually got to meet and train in person rather than just being online based, obviously.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's I've spoken to people say, I've heard of Andy Abernethy, but or I've been to business meetings with him, but I've never actually trained with him.
Sure.
We had quite a few new instructors this time, new groups this time. What sometimes we tend to find is a club will the instructor will maybe come and maybe bring a couple with them, and next time they'll be booking 7 or 8 caravans and bringing 20 or 30 people.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just because they don't believe it's as good as it is.
Yeah, I get that. So just for the benefit of the people who are listening in that perhaps don't know much about the event, if you sort of maybe give a brief overview, an explanation of what it's about, how it works, what the format is, that sort of thing.
Yeah, no problem. The event basically is a full weekend event. We arrive sort of after 4 o'clock on Friday night. There's no necessity to stop work that day or school that day. Unless you do live many miles away. But we host it at a place called Skipsey near Bridlington. The simple reason for that is it has a massive sports hall. Right. And not many caravan sites have sports halls like this one. It's huge. We've got a fully functioning holiday park. So we gear it to the family. So sometimes, I'm sorry to sound sexy, so we would say, let's say mum or dad that don't train. Mm. They can come more often than not. They try something.
Got you.
I have known them, and from not just my club, from other clubs, they've tried something. Next thing you know, they've signed up. They've joined. They've become students.
Got you.
And if they don't, and if they've got little ones, there's swimming on site. There's the kids club on site. In the evening, there's entertainment on site, or you can just sit and chat with the rest of the guys that are there. We had over 150 people there last time. But the crux of it is obviously the training during the day. We have over the weekend about 12 to 13 hours of training. in a variety of different things. We had some fantastic instructors down this time who, just looking at the feedback on the Facebook page, highly enjoyed their seminars. We had Tai Chi. We had some street stuff from Matt State, who's just published his book.
Yeah.
The Tai Chi went there. We did both versions of Tai Chi because, like I say, we like everybody to try and do something.
Yeah.
So we got Robert to do Tai Chi for health, so your nice soft forms, but also Tai Chi for combat.
Okay.
Some real Tai Chi, if you like. And both went down really well. So we split it up over areas, so you can drop in and have a go at something, and then have a go at something totally different.
Okay.
A little bit later. The way it works, the reason it works, I think, is hugely down to the instructors. Because the instructors there as students as well, they pay just like everybody else does.
Okay.
And they volunteer an hour or so of their time.
Got you.
Now, every single one of the instructors we have on this could quite easily go out and say, right, I'm doing a seminar, I want £15 a head for 2 hours. And we're charging £75 for the entire weekend.
Got you. Yeah. Good. Yeah, it's a great idea, actually. The thing I like about it as well. The thing I like about it as well is you touched on it a little bit, but it's a reality. Martial artists, for anybody that does this seriously, either full time or as a very serious hobby, that's in a relationship, unless your partner's actively involved in the business or trains themselves, they do tend to get left behind a lot, because if we're either competing or we're doing a workshop in Scotland or London or further afield, and generally speaking, 9 out of 10 times, husband or wife gets left at home. And this is a great opportunity, as you say. Come on, we can all go. I can go get my fix of bashing people or getting bashed myself. And if you don't want to be there, look, there's all this other stuff you can do, but we can still be in the same thing. So it's a really cool idea. I like it. It's and as you say, there's the opportunity for people to be around and to be part of it, and then maybe even go, oh, actually, I have actually quite secretly fancied having a go at this for a long time. Come and join on the mats then, have a go, and so everybody benefits in that respect. I believe you've got another event coming up. Is it in March? March next year, is it?
29th of March next year.
Yeah.
We have quite a few of the instructors saying they're going to come back, or trying to come back. This is quite nice because of all the feedback we have at this time. I've already got people who have looked at it before but never gone ahead and done it, saying, when's the live booking available?
Wow.
And I've got potentially three new instructors with some very different things.
Okay.
Some very different things. Let's say large medieval swords.
Wow.
It's just one of the things that may be added.
Cool.
And so we've got we've got some very different things coming. This time was the first time we sort of specifically put some things aside for the kids.
Okay. That's cool.
The little kids. We didn't say, look, you can't go train with Dad, or you can't go train with the jiu-jitsu guys if that's what you're into. But the really small ones who sort of give it a go and doesn't really gel and can affect the session. Yeah. We took them aside. We had assault courses for them. We had taekwondo kicking for them. We had nunchucks for them that they love. It's touch wood. It's working.
Yeah.
So next time is the 10th anniversary. I'm trying to get it bigger and better.
Yeah, sure.
I say 150 martial artists this time, 35 caravans full. It's
taken over.
It'd
be the safest place in the country for that weekend.
we have stories on that. I'll give you a very quick story.
Oh my goodness.
About a year ago, there's a chap at the bar. He's getting a bit leery, so security come through to us and say, look, we've got a chap at the bar. He's getting a bit leery. We just want to check he's not one of yours.
one of yours.
Yeah, yeah. Now there's a twofold reason they want to check that. One is we've worked with them so much is courtesy.
Yeah.
And the second is they don't want to piss off one of our guys. Yeah, they're a little bit wary. So my wife Lisa said I'll come through and have a look with you. And she went through. She says no, it's nothing to do with our group at all. She said, would you like me to give you a hand walking him out? Yes, please. was the response from security. So,
oh my goodness me, good stuff.
So,
Love it.
but yeah, we've been doing it so long with them. We have a very good reputation with the site. Nothing's too much for them. Even so, for instance, this time when we finish training on Saturday, they have a massive inflatable obstacle course that goes on the water. That goes on the swimming pool. Because the kids all book that up pretty quick because it's fantastic. Yeah. But normally after that, the swimming pool closes. Yeah, that's it for the night. They even extended it for us because they knew our guys were training all day and some of them might want to swim at the end of the day. So, so they extended the time for us. You know, there's little things like that you know is why it's growing. Yeah. I mean, even silly things like we actually provide tea and coffee for the spectators. We don't charge for it; it's just part of the event.
Yeah, that's great.
You know, the event normally ends with, and we're looking for a challenger. I'll just put that out there now. It ends with a 10-board break.
Ooh. So
that's 10 boards, one after the other. The fastest time I think is just under 10 seconds.
Okay.
And we normally do it head to head. Current record holder is Clive Lee from Vulcan, who has taken it about 4 or 5 times running now. So I am looking for somebody to take him down.
Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Challenges. Come on, guys.
So it's basically it's 10 punches or elbow or palm. You know, they're the fastest things to get the job done. Mm. So, but yeah, we usually end up with board breaking for everybody, but that's sort of the last bit.
Love it.
Because everybody likes to have a go at board breaking. Yeah. You know, it's destroying something, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's why we all watch stock car racing and Formula One. It's human nature.
It is, isn't it? And those people watching, let's see who hurts themselves as well. You know, it's just you can't help yourself, which is probably why you have it at the end, isn't it?
Yeah, we've had a couple.
Of course, it's martial arts. It's what we do. We can't help ourselves, you know. All good fun. So if somebody's interested, what's the best thing to do? How to get in touch? Where to book? That sort of thing.
You can find FBMA on Facebook. Yeah. FBMA All Stars Training Camp. The event is already live for 29th of March.
Okay.
So that's already live. The live booking, I'll go on that today. I'm just working on that at the moment. And yeah, take it from there.
Great. Well, I'll post all the links in the show notes as well, so people can find it directly from the podcast link itself. Yep. Great. And I'm assuming that you'll be making constant updates and announcements on the Facebook pages.
Yeah. As soon as sort of instructors confirm with me that they're coming down and all good, and then I like to put them out. We're going to start putting bios out for them as well, so that people know who they are beforehand.
Brilliant idea. That's a good idea.
And at the moment we've got 3 or so instructors that we've been approached before, but for their own reasons, busy and all the rest of it, have not come. But they've actually come to me this time, which is lovely.
That is good.
Especially one in particular, because I've been trying to get him for some time. Okay. Because I know his skills are really good, and we've worked with him before, and we know the kids love him and the adults love him. Some chap called Chris Jones, I believe.
I wondered where you were going with that one then.
Yeah, I thought we'd drop that in for you. Yeah, we're looking forward to having you host a kicking session for us.
Thank you. I was actually what I was going to do. I was actually going to do just work on some punch. No, I'm joking. Yeah, cool. I'm definitely up for it. I've as you say, it's.
To be honest, I'd like to see that. I don't think I've ever seen you punch.
I can. Do you know, I actually can throw a decent punch. More and more, as you said, goes back to the start of the podcast interview. You know, we're getting older now, so you know it's I am having to throw more and more these days as the legs get a bit more creaky. But no, joking aside, I'm looking forward to it, hoping to to work with you to get something worked out workshop wise. And anybody listening out there that's interested, get in touch and we'll help you get through to Rich and the gang and get you booked in. It'd be good to see people again. Yep.
It's going to be another good one. I say, I obviously I say to people book early because I think the demand's going to be high.
Yeah.
But I've got other instructors saying you need to be on this because I think he's going to book out.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Excellent. Right, I am actually looking forward to it. Although it's miles away, these things do come around really quick. Go on.
Sorry, that is one of the problems because that's one of the headaches I have.
Yeah.
Because everybody says, but it's miles away, but unless I get the deposits and the balances in,
yes.
With it being a holiday camp, they need their balances like 12 weeks before.
Yeah.
Which people are still thinking, no, it's miles away. I've got plenty of time, but they're then hounding me. So it's one of the little headaches, and we have a few headaches. Obviously, we're doing an event this size.
Yeah,
you have headaches, and you quite often gets to the day or so before you think, we're not doing it again. Once a year, we'll move it to once a year. It's too tough, and I've done this with my wife, and she's been the one that said, no, once a year's enough. And by the time I get there, because she often gets there to book people in before me, by the time I get there, I found out she's already got the facts and the figures for the next one.
Already planning ahead. Good stuff.
Yeah, because when we get there, it's infectious.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
It's like martial arts in general. It is infectious.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, what I was going to say was if people out there that are anything like me, and I think we all are, especially those of us who get kicked in the head for a living. I've got a workshop this weekend. Actually, I mentioned it earlier on the podcast, and it's been on my notice board for months, and I only just realised the other day that it's this weekend. I was like,
yeah, that happens.
Yeah, I'm like, oh no, it's this weekend. Oh. And I've been talking about it as well and plugging it, and that's just what we're like, such airheads. But March 29th, 2019.
That's it.
Get on this one, guys. Get supported, as Richard just said. The earlier you book, the better it is for them, and obviously for the longevity of the event going forwards as well. So, show your support, get your bookings in. If you're a school owner out there, I'm presuming they can get in touch with. Is there options for if they can do block bookings if they want to book, say, 25?
We can get block bookings in, things like that. Yeah,
brilliant.
Say the more the merrier. We have, and we've seen over the years, particularly maybe a smaller club.
Yeah,
and they've had this idea. Maybe they'd like to do something social. They'd like to do a weekend away, but there isn't enough people in the club to justify doing it that way.
Sure.
Whereas if they do it this way, they're part of something bigger. But say, for instance, Saturday night, they can be their club doing their social thing, whatever they want to do, or they can be part of the bigger picture.
Yeah.
It varies. I've seen it worked every single way since we started doing it.
Brilliant. Good. So get on the Facebook group, the FBMA Friendly Bunch of Martial Artists Facebook group. Check out the information for this event and maybe see some of you there. But thanks again for your time, sir. I know you're a busy guy with all the different things you've got going on, and I'm sure we will catch up very soon.
Look forward to it.
Thank you.
Enjoy our podcast? Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review Kickback with Chris on iTunes today.
So thanks to Richard again for his time today to pop on and talk about the event and the Facebook group. It all sounds really positive, and it's the main reason. I mean, it had been on my radar for a little while, truth be told. We couldn't quite work things out last time around, but seeing the positivity around the event this time, and the really cool feedback, and the way also that people interacted on social media after the event, giving ideas about things that they liked, things that maybe could change. It was such a positive environment. It was something that I thought straight away it'd be nice if I could help out with in some way. Initially just by giving some promotion through the podcast, but then I got thinking, well, no, maybe I could get involved and teach something too, and with the possibility of getting some charity work involved as well. So keep an eye out on Facebook. I'm sure we'll be making more announcements with regards to that. It'd be nice to get some of you guys down there to do some training, rather than just listening to me speak. You could come and do some training with me too. And likewise, the opportunity to learn from you guys would be brilliant as well. So coming up now, we have our section that we've how do I say it? affectionately titled Chit Chat with Matt. But no, Mr. Matt Chapman giving up his time again to share with us some ideas with regards to martial arts business, advertising, training, running your school, that sort of thing. And very cool. We've had some questions come in as well. So if you've got any more questions, please do send them to us via the website at kickbackpodcast.com. You can use the SpeakPipe function or the email, or again, you could just get us on social media, Facebook, whichever works for you guys. But we're just going to jump to a quick break, and then on the other side, we'll be with Matt on the phone, listening to what he's got to share with us this week.
You're listening to Kick Back with Chris, the martial arts podcast, brought to you by www.onlinekicking.co.uk.
All right, guys, so it's that time of the week again. Joining us on the phone, we have Mr. Matthew Chapman to share with us some of his expert knowledge in all things martial arts and business related. How are we doing today, sir?
Very good. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. I've just got in from a nice lunch with my wife, so I'm ready to go, ready for this one, ready to learn, as I'm sure everybody else is listening in at the minute. So what are we going to talk about today then, Matt?
We're going to continue on the advertising theme that we were discussing sort of last time about doing the 10 acts of marketing. I was just going to kind of run through the types of marketing that I think are particularly useful for martial arts schools, and maybe we can have a little discussion about what you do and
okay. Or don't.
Or don't, yeah.
Absolutely. No, I do some. I'm not too bad. Yeah, sure, let's go for it then. Go for it.
So I was obviously in the last episode, we talked about 10 acts of marketing, and you should be doing 10 acts of marketing every day, 5 days a week, because that just creates a massive momentum on your marketing and just gets you out there and people find out about you more, makes it a bit more consistent. But obviously you've got to decide what types of marketing would work best for you and what suit you and what actually get you sort of customers, because certain instructors, for example, Liam Richards, for example, who we all know, he's really good at demos and school talks and things like that. You know, he's very charismatic. He comes across really well. He's a presenter. So he's really good at that sort of face-to-face interaction. Whereas I always struggled with face-to-face sort of presentations, school talks and things like that. It didn't come naturally to me. And therefore, because of that, I didn't really get many people from it. So obviously, for people like Liam, who's, very outgoing, that would be a very good choice to add to his 10 a day or, several times a week to do that type of thing. For me, it wouldn't be such a good idea. So, of course, there's lots of different things you can do for your marketing. You've just got to find the right mix that suits you, your personality, and the people you're trying to reach.
Yeah, sure. Cool. Yeah.
So for me, personally, I'm quite good on the internet side of things. So I started all my marketing with Google first, because my theory was that obviously someone who's searching for martial arts is going to go to sort of one of three places. They're going to ask a friend face to face, do you know anywhere that does martial arts? They're going to go to Facebook and ask Facebook friends, do you know anywhere that does martial arts in the local area? And if either of those don't work out, they're going to go to Google and Google martial art classes in my local area. Or they might do that first, but Google's going to be one of their options for finding classes. So I focused on, I'm known for dominating Google in my local area, so that I was the only sort of martial arts class available on the first page of Google in my local area. So people just got in contact, and, I got 20 to 30 inquiries every month for free from Google doing that. So that worked really well for me.
Good stuff.
And if you're in an area that doesn't have much competition on Google for martial arts instruction, it's quite easy to dominate the first page of Google and rank really high on that. If you're in an area that's got a lot of competition and you have to work a bit harder and do a bit more background work and be a bit more consistent with what you do, but it's still possible to sort of rank several times on the first page of Google. So for me, that was the first thing I focus on in my marketing, is finding people who are interested in martial arts and who are searching for martial arts on Google.
Very cool. Yeah, it's constantly changing, isn't it? Really, with regards to the way people are using the internet and just searching in general. I've actually noticed a bit of a trend locally because a lot of most areas now tend to have like a Facebook group where people just go to moan about stuff. And then people use those to advertise on or to ask questions. And at one point, it used to be a case of people going there and go, "Oh, I need a recommendation for a martial arts school," and people would just post links. Whereas now people are actually starting to post like mini reviews as well.
Yes.
And another thing I've started noticing is people are actually saying things like, "Oh, well, I wouldn't go by what so and so says. You should go and look, check it out yourself," sort of thing. So I personally, the Google thing seems to become more, especially in my head now, more relevant because I have, to be honest, I've neglected it. I've been focusing on it though this last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
To be honest, since the last conversation we had and the previous interview we did about Google domination.
Yeah.
I've been working on my Google rankings a little bit. Getting more on the first page because I think I had 5 or 6. I can't remember.
Yes,
yeah.
that's right. Yeah, which is very good. But there's still 5 or 6 probably who your competition and stuff. So, if you get that sort of stuff right with Google, you don't really have to do much maintenance on it. You just keep an eye on it and make sure it's ticking over. And once you've got your Google rankings, you'll get a steady flow of prospects inquiring about becoming students. So then it's obviously about teaching a fantastic intro class and signing them up. And then I would say it's definitely about referrals once you start signing students up. So it's like asking them if they'd like to bring a friend or family member to their first trial class is a good way of getting a quick referral. So they're going to be on the phone, they're going to book in for their trial class or via email, and you say to them, would you like to bring a friend with you to your trial? And they go, oh yeah, actually I would like to bring, and they get thinking a little bit about friends who'd like to join up. Then after they join up, I give all new members 2 or 3 VIP passes, which they can give to their friends and their family members, because during the first 3 months of their training, they're probably about as excited as they're ever going to be in martial arts. So they're going to see changes in their body. Their fitness is going to increase. They're going to be feeling better, which they're then going to tell people about. And people are going to comment and say, wow, you're looking good. Have you been doing something? And they'll be saying, yeah, I've been doing martial arts now. Here's a card. You get 2 weeks free. So if you give them stuff to actually give to people, it helps with your marketing. They will get you more people into your classes. Then it's about friends and family members, obviously, joining up through those people. And referrals are the best source of marketing, in my opinion, because it's free. People believe their friend, they don't believe you. So if their friend says your classes are amazing, they've been pre-sold, they're already going to go along to your class in a positive frame of mind. All you have to do is teach a great class and then they sign up. So I think after Google, referrals are the next big thing for me. Yeah,
it's cool. It's interesting what you were saying earlier on about finding what works, what method of marketing works best for you. And I would also, just personally as well, I would say that work's always most suitable for your business, because although I suppose there are marketing methods that work across the board, there are some that are going to be more suited to one school than another. For example, with my school, with it being quite a small setup, although we've got over 200 members, which it's nothing huge, but it's doing all right. We've not got that much of a floor space, so we're never in a position to be doing like mass intros or. No. I'm not. My advertising is sort of more of a steady drip than a sudden flow. Like I see some posts on Facebook, we've had 70 new members, and I'm just thinking, Jesus, man,
what would I do with that?
I would not be able to cope if we had in any one particular class type. If we suddenly got 5 in one go, I'd be thinking, oh Christ, what are we going to do? We've got nowhere to put them. So ours is sort of like a 2 out, 3 in sort of. Yes. That's how we try to work it. So,
well, yes, that's a very good point, and. Well, maybe we can do another podcast on this at some point.
Perfect.
But there's an issue, I think, in the martial arts industry where it's just focused on unsustained, unregulated growth. We're chasing zeros, all of us. We've got 90 members, so we're like, we must get to 100 members, and then we get to 100 members, and we're like, that's not enough. I must have 150. Then we get to 200. That's not enough. I must have 200. And my question is, why? What's the end goal? I don't think people really have an end goal. I think they just get bigger and bigger and bigger schools and create more and more headaches for themselves and more stress because they can't manage those numbers of people, and it becomes unmanageable. I'm not sure what this chasing loads of students is for. And plus, would you rather earn a certain amount with 100 students rather than have 300 students?
That's it, exactly. I won't say who it was, but I used to work for a school owner, and we had this. Well, I was part of this exact conversation. I remember him saying, that at one point, this is going back 20 years or so now.
Yeah.
But his focus was very much on, I want to have 500 members. And then I remember him saying when they got there, there's just the amount of extra work that was involved day to day in running the school that size. It was not worth it.
No.
So he switched it back very quickly to, okay, let's have 350, 375. And let's maximize the potential business-wise of that amount of students rather than trying to push for high numbers. It was a status thing. It was I've got the biggest school in the country.
That's right. Yeah, it's exactly
headaches.
that. It's bragging rights of other instructors. How many students you got? Well, I've got 200. Well, I've got 300. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it creates more problems for yourself. And it sometimes turns what is like a close-knit, friendly club where everyone knows each other into a massive sort of hundreds of members club where people don't know each other. The atmosphere is not so great. It's all disjointed. You're going to have to employ more staff, more admin, more. It's like more.
Yeah,
I think people have to be very careful about why they want to grow and what's their reasons for that growth.
Yeah, when we went from 150 to 200, I did notice a difference in the atmosphere in the place. It wasn't so much that was all of a sudden, who are you? it wasn't quite to that extreme, but I remember noticing it was much more. I don't want to say conveyor belt because that sounds too negative, but it was sort of like, turn the class over, as kind of like next
Quick,
one, and I didn't really have as much time to chat with Jimmy's mum about Jimmy's football on Sunday and all the little things that were important. There wasn't time for.
No.
So,
and do you know what? Possibly, your customers, your parents are going to notice that, because before, when you had time to chat to people and solve problems and motivate and help, now it's just it's a rush. Or it was at my school. You got a 15-minute window. You got people trying to sign. It's like So then management skills are required. So it's an interesting discussion. I'd like to.
We can get onto that one next time. Well, was that all for today, sir? I don't want to cut you short.
No. It's just you need to find the right marketing mix that works for you and for your business. Like, for example, I do mainly Google marketing, then referral marketing, and then I do Facebook awareness marketing, but I don't pay for that. Just generating awareness of the school in the local community and getting known for helping and doing things like Bully Buster stuff. So that's my kind of main free marketing channels that I used at my school, which brought us in sort of 30 to 40 members every month. And you as school owners will have to find your own particular mix that works for you. If I had to do just school talks and demos, it would kill me. It's not what I want to do. No. It doesn't suit my personality. So if you're finding that you're struggling with your marketing, it might be that you're trying to do the wrong thing for you. So just test out different marketing methods and see what works for you.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you for your time, as always, sir, and imparting your wisdom. I always come on with I've always got a piece of paper and a pen on my desk ready to write these notes, because I'm taking notes and doing this as well. So great stuff. So I'll have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Whatever it is you've got planned, and we'll catch up for the next episode.
Thank you, Chris. Cheers.
Enjoy our podcast? Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review Kickback with Chris on iTunes today.
So thanks again to Matt for his time. It's always a pleasure to have him on the show. Such a knowledgeable guy with lots of experience, and I'm sure we're all benefiting from having him on. So moving forwards, so next couple of episodes, I'm actually now, as I've mentioned previously, in a position to get out and about and interview people on the go. The equipment's all set up now, and I more importantly, I know how to use it as well. I'm planning on doing some live, so in-person interviews with people, some from sort of different areas of martial arts industry. just to sort of broaden things a little bit. So you can look forward to that in the coming weeks. Though with the busyness of the various things that we've got going on, it might be that we do actually have upwards of 2 episodes a week in some instances. I know I've recently tried to cut them down, but with the sheer volume of people looking to be involved, it may well be that, the odd week, like we did with the Redcon 1 announcement, and obviously the announcements of Matt being involved in the show, that you may well see two episodes pop up a week. Give me some feedback on this. If it's too much, let me know. I do understand I'm a podcast listener myself. I tend to listen to them in chunks rather than all the way through, so I don't know if that's the same for you guys too. If it is, again, let me know. But yes, keep a listen out, new things going on. If you're interested in getting involved with the show yourself, either as a guest or with feedback or anything else, or potentially you're looking to have a sponsorship involvement if you want to promote anything that you've got going on, please again get in touch. Happy to work something out. But yeah, have a great rest of your week, whatever it is you're doing. Enjoying your martial arts, and I'll catch up with you all very soon.